Hello, everybody. I am so glad you're back and joining me and my amazing friend, Joani. I'm going to let her introduce herself here in a minute. But if you are new to this channel, I'm Amanda Kelder. I'm a Christian weight loss and life coach. And I love having guests on like Joani so we can all learn from each other, get different perspectives, understand this world we live in a little bit better. And so today, Joani is joining me because we're going to talk about coaching. Coaching is kind of a buzzword right now. And what I find when I'm interacting with some of you guys and with my clients is there's a lot of misconceptions around coaching because it has been kind of a buzzword and misused, I think, in ways too. So where I want to start with you, Joani, is I want you to know, like, I want to know, and the rest of the audience wants to know, like, how did you first come across coaching? Like, what were your first interactions with coaching?
Yes. So my first, I didn't even know that it was coaching. So, and I think that probably happens to a lot of people. It's like, I didn't even realize it. But I was a part of a community and a program that was really helping moms with just everyday life, like really not just like being organized and, having a meal plan, but it was really digging into the mindset of a mom and how to be successful, not just in what we did, but how we think. And everything in that program also goes back to the Word of God. So it was like really learning how to just have a joyful life as a mom, the ups, the downs, everything. And so I didn't even know, honestly, that it was coaching. I just knew whatever this is, it works. So
it works, and
it works.
my life is better for it.
My life is better. I'm a better mom. I'm a better wife. I'm more calm. I'm more peaceful. I can handle things that I used to not be able to handle. So like that was my first experience, maybe that I can remember. Maybe there were other times, but that's when I'm like, oh, this is what, when I found out like, oh, this is what coaching is.
Oh, that's what happened.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, okay, so take us through a little bit of that evolution. When did you like decide to be a coach, and like what drew you to that?
Yeah. So I'd gotten such amazing results being in a coaching program that the person that the CEO, the founder of that program, was also creating a coaching certification.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of went hand in hand with it. And I just remember being like, well, if it's doing what you're helping me with, then sign me up, because I want to help other people. And I think my whole life, like I've had the gift of encouragement. I love helping people. But one of the things that I felt often was missing in helping people is I could give advice, or I could offer a book, or I could pray with them. But the problem would just keep coming back. It was like the issue never really got resolved.
Yeah.
So coaching was the answer to how to actually resolve and move forward with those issues. I felt like I was really helping people be able to like get the result that they were looking for beyond just like, well, read this book about it. Or, even though prayer is powerful, but it almost felt like prayer was like the last resort. So
it was like our desperate plea or something like that.
Where it was like, I've tried everything else. Now I'll pray, instead of prayer just being in this constant conversation with God, all day, every day. So I just saw that it was working for me. And I'm like, well, if it works for me and I already love helping people, why wouldn't I just become a coach myself and just take it, further with other people and help them?
Yeah, I love that. And that's what I want to kind of tease out, because especially my industry, weight loss industry, there's lots of people that like to call themselves coaches, right?
Yes.
And they've done something, right? They've changed maybe, or they've started using a product that they really love. Great. But that doesn't necessarily make you a coach. Like, what makes somebody a coach, do you think?
That's a great question, because you're right. I feel like the word coach is almost like a buzzword now. And one of the things about the coaching industry is anybody can be a coach. There are no regulations. It's not like if you want to be an attorney, you have to go through school. You have to do certain things in order to be qualified. You have to, pass the bar exam, like all those things to become a lawyer or to become a doctor. Like there's a teacher, there's so many professions where you have to follow a process in order to pursue that career. Coaching does not have that. So I think that although anybody can be a coach, there aren't guidelines and there aren't restrictions. There's laws, of course, there's always laws to protect people, but ultimately, because coaching is such a buzzword and anybody can be a coach, I think
call themselves a coach. Yeah.
Call themselves a coach, like just wake up one day and be like, well, I'm just going to be a coach.
Yep.
And I'm just going to charge people whatever I'm going to charge to, show them what to do. So I think if we can get back to the original meaning of what a coach is, and we think about it I feel like sports is what most people know. If we really boil it down to like, well, what would a coach do in, say, baseball or football, whether it's like little league all the way up to pro, the coach, like there's a reason why they're there. There's a reason, like they know things that they can help the team to be able to win. They're able to look at the play and adjust what they're doing. They're able to put the right players into the right positions. Like there is some things that I feel like as a coach that we need to be aware of because we're there to serve.
Right.
And a coach, when like even thinking about like, let's say a pro football team, if the team isn't doing well, it's the coach that usually either gets fired or gets reprimanded, or the owner of the team. It's not usually the players.
Right.
They're kind of the last ones that are looked at. First, it's like, well, what's the coach doing here? So I do feel like there's a level of integrity and trust and knowledge that we need to pursue in being a coach. It doesn't mean we need necessarily certifications, but it's like if we understand that coaching is not just a term that, oh, if I just say I'm a coach and I can charge money, but actually understand like there is a purpose to what I'm doing and how I'm helping either one person individually or a group of people. So hopefully like just that analogy, helps people kind of understand like, okay, a coach is not just a buzzword, like we have a purpose in what we're doing in our work.
Right. And a coach is there to help you achieve the goals. I think a coach is always there to help you overcome all the obstacles you are facing.
Yes.
And that means that I find coaching, to me, a good coach is very diverse. They can help you with how you're acting, like give you solutions to how to act and set up your environment different, all of that. And then they also understand that we are driven by our emotions, by what we're thinking, and help you understand your brain better and how that works, and help you question things and take a look at what you're thinking and how that is interacting in how you act, right?
Right.
And to me, that's a good coach when they can help you with what you're believing, how you're feeling, and what you're doing. If we can look at all of that together, you can then have, like, I always like to say, I'm a holistic approach kind of person. I want to be able to help you with all of it, because if we just piecemeal it out, we miss pieces of it.
Right. Or if we try to separate, I mean, we are, as a being, right? Like we made in the image of God, like we have this physical body that we live in, but we also have like a soul.
Yes.
And the spirit, and then like the Holy Spirit that's guiding us. So it's like we have to look at the whole picture, I think.
Yes.
Not just, I mean, as a coach, definitely, but as like followers of Christ, like there's a lot of pieces here we need to be aware of.
Right. Like we're physical, we're spiritual, and then we have our mental side. We have our free will, our thinking. And if we have to understand how all of those interact with one another, because they do.
Yes.
We are not just one piece at any given time. We're all of them.
all
at
of them
every given time.
all the time. There's yes. And like, even if we can compartmentalize like an issue in our head, we're still, everything is happening all at once. So it's like, if you're like a mom and a wife and a business owner and a sister and an aunt, it's like, I'm all of these things all at once, even if in the moment I'm acting on this one piece. So it's
Right.
the same thing. It's like all at once, I'm a physical body with a soul and a spirit.
Yeah. And I'm acting on this one piece, but when I act on this one piece, it reverberates and has consequences on all the other pieces. So I have to think about all of that.
Yes. And one of the things that, I tell my clients in coaching, sometimes they'll come with like, well, I have multiple issues I need to work on. And I'm like, we just need one, because just like the ripple effect, just like when you throw a stone into the pond, that ripples out and it ripples back and it just goes back and forth. I'm like, it's the same thing. So we just work on that one part or that one issue, knowing we're going to affect everything else that's going on, both the list of issues as well as your physical, your mental, your emotional, your spiritual.
Yes, exactly.